Some can refer to it as a smooth and pleasing way of moving, or a polite and thoughtful way of behaving. Others can refer to it as accomplished, triumphant, meet your objective, to be decorated, to be favored and flavored above all. Despite the situations on ground, despite your state of mind, despite your thoughts, expectations, or that which you progress or are projecting, you experience grace. It's always attached to a higher calling, a deity, God, to higher realms, to experience the grace of God, to experience the grace and favor of God. Majority of the time, we always expect that from God. And when man does something, you're like, well, I'm also kind to others, so I expect the same to be directed my way. And so we're not grateful. We don't glorify when man actually extends grace to you. We always think you've taken part in it, so you've earned it. I have experienced grace from man, directly from man. And majority of you will be like, oh, it's God's grace that God extended to that person, and then that person extended it to you. No, he chose to show grace, or she chose to show grace. She chose to show kindness, humility, to empathize and sympathize. When somebody goes out of their way, they're not related to you, so it's not merited either by blood or by association. No, this is a person who can be classified as a stranger or a random person, irrespective of if you know them, they're in your neighborhood, you're in the same school. They have the right to decline or accept extending favor to you. It's not something that based on your understanding of the spiritual realm, based on understanding or you being present there, then now it's by force, that one for, but I'm here and you're seeing me suffering, you have to help me. No, it's a choice they make. And when man makes this choice, let me tell you, these are some of the things that just my soul just bubbles and arises to greater heights when I see man do this, with so much kindness, so much clarity, because it's not something they have been coerced into doing. It's something they just do out of the goodness of their hearts, out of the kindness that they have experienced, so they extend it to somebody else. When you see somebody go out of their way, and just take your issues and your problems and carry it for their own heads, and they go all out, night and day, they go all out for you, be grateful for that. It is not something that you say, oh, I pray and God just shows me favor through. No. Equate kindness and glory correctly. Equate it correctly. Direct it correctly. Do not take somebody else's glory and somebody else's honor and joy and attach its insignificance. Because when I say insignificant, majority will be like, no, how can you be calling God? When I glorify and I say it's because of God's grace, no. That person has showed you favor. The person has showed you grace and has extended mercy to you. Rejoice in them. Rejoice and give glory to them. For it's not a must. Don't have the audacity to think that because you're here, that you have every right to experience these things, that you have every right for people to be kind to you. And when they're not, you moan and you groan and you're like, how dare they? No, how dare you have such expectations? Do not judge humans based on your own understanding. Also, do not set certain expectations because they're based on your understanding. When you look at somebody and you're like, but if I don't have, they look like they have, they should be able to give me. And even if they do have, from the outside looking in, you can only perceive what is allowed to you. And from the outside looking in, you'll only see what you can actually just perceive. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who walks with me and has aligned with me in one way or the other. Thank you. I'm very grateful. I don't take it for granted. Let me tell you, a very long time. I have been living under grace, other people's grace, and it has been they pour it out, an outpouring of so much grace, so much kindness. Give honor where it's due, to the extent where you can ask for something. You ask for it because it's not yours, it's theirs, and they have to consent to giving it to you. You ask and they're like, oh, you don't have this? Oh, no, 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 no. And they just take it up. They take charge. They make sure you're provided for. I am very grateful. I am very grateful. These situations make life such a joy. You might be going through so much, but then you look at your side and there are people walking with you. There's people speaking into your lives. There are people who have taken up whatever issues you have and they've ascended in prayer. They've ascended in sympathy and empathy. They've ascended. They've attached their energy to you. They've attached their strengths to you. They've attached their spirituality to, because everyone has their own spirituality. Everyone is a gatekeeper of one in one way or the other. And when one gatekeeper takes up yours and ascends in prayer and they speak, because prayer is not, you don't always have to just be in those forms of you you become so submissive before certain deities, then that's when you're praying. No, even then, even when somebody just speaks over you or somebody just takes up and decides, oh, so and so doesn't have this, let me go and get it for them, that's prayer. And people do that for you, and majority of the time you are not grateful. I am very grateful. Thank you, my people. Thank you for helping. Thank you for assisting me in all the ways possible. You have made any challenge that I may have encountered or came into contact with, you've made it so easy and so light. My burden is light. I have seen joy in times that would have tormented my soul. I've seen joy because of those who stand and align with you in one way or the other. Those who speak into your lives. You are seated somewhere, you're quiet, and somebody asks, are you in need? Do you need something? And you look up, and the first thing is like, you need to mind your own business. But you don't speak like that, because then you see kindness in their eyes. You feel the warmth and peace and joy that they offer through their voices. And you say, I don't have this, or I have this, or I'm thinking of this. And they offer, at times they can even just offer something theoretical, not necessarily tangible or physical. And that word speaks to you and speaks to your soul, and you're like, I hadn't thought of it like that. That's grace. When they pour into your lives, they cover you. You're in a situation where you're stagnant. Somebody passes and pours into you and speaks. I'm like, you can do A, B, C, and D. That's grace. When you ask for favor on any realm, or any perception of favor that you might be thinking of or asking, and then somebody just answers from somewhere else. They were not there with you, but they just speak. Somebody comes and like, you can have that one. I'll wait for the next one. Or somebody actually paves way for you. That's grace. Be grateful. Be grateful, please. Be grateful and give honor where it's due. Don't take anything for granted. As you go forth, may you celebrate your wins and even your losses, because losses are also wins. And be grateful for the grace that you had and you actually experienced and acquired. For it was unmerited, it was unprovoked. Thank you, everyone. Ashe, 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 ashe. And so it is.